with your teacher friends.
Hello, it's your teacher friends again, Lydia.
And Heather.
And we're especially happy today to be bringing you slime activity that many classes are already doing. But what we are trying to do with this video is to show you ways to pull out the learning from this activity so that it goes beyond just a fun thing that children are doing and not realizing the relevance of it. And along the way, we'll be showing you tips of how to dispose of it safely. Heather, tell us what's so special about this lesson? Why make Oobleck?
Oh, I love Oobleck. And just as an aside, Oobleck gets its name from a Dr. Seuss book, Bartholomew the Oobleck. Maybe you can find that one and read it later.
It's worth a read. How does it show us, Heather, about solids, liquids, and gases?
Yes, so we can kind of use Oobleck for two different chemistry topics. We can use it for studying materials and properties and using our words to describe the properties that it has. We can also use it when we're studying solids and liquids and reinforcing the children's understanding of that, because this does not fit what you would have just been talking about.
Absolutely, and these are the materials you'll need for this activity. We will show you the right consistency to make to get a good Oobleck that will show you very clearly the properties of a solid and a liquid.
So I'm going to be using, for every 1 part of water, I'm going to be using 2 parts of corn flour.
Make sure that the corn flour you're using is pure corn flour. There are some corn flour that are sold in the market that's been mixed with wheat, and that would not work. The reason why corn flour works is because of the size of the corn flour particles. It works because the corn flour particles are milled smaller than the other types of flours. Okay.
I've done 2 cups of corn flour, 1 cup of water. I wouldn't use this much normally.
So go with less water and correct it by adding more.
We're going to use our favorite tools for mixing, our hands. Trying to get it all mixed in.
All right. Is that too slack, you think?
A little bit too
Yep.
runny. Give us some more.
So we want a texture that is not as slack as that. There we go. We think that it's best that the teacher makes the Oobleck beforehand so that the students are not making the mess for you to clean up after.
Well, we also would do it outside on the ground as well.
And certainly not on over a carpeted area. Okay,
I'm pretty happy right now.
is that good?
Yes.
All right. Would you like to wash your hands first? Here's the bucket of water for you.
Oh, so we are a bit messy, and we would recommend when you get the kids to clean hands, just tell them to make the hands into a fist, because then you get less drips. This is just a bucket of warm water.
So this activity could be a fun activity, and that's to showcase how a material can behave both as a solid and as a liquid depending on the conditions it's put under. And we're putting it under different amounts of pressure. And this is what pressure is. Pressure is how much force something is feeling. So this would be high pressure and this would be low pressure. High pressure, low pressure. The thing is, with Oobleck, it shows different types of behavior under those different conditions. So get the students first to rest their fingers in the Oobleck, just to rest it, because when they're resting it, the Oobleck sucks them in. And they'll find that their fingers are being sucked to the very bottom of the bowl. Once they're at the bottom, ask them to yank it. Then they're applying pressure. And as they're applying pressure, the Oobleck fights them. So the first hand action that you could get them to do is to rest, low pressure, and yank, high pressure. And they'll feel the difference that the Oobleck is applying on them. Next, get them to pick up a glob of Oobleck. Get them to squeeze, high pressure, release, low pressure. Squeeze, high pressure, release, low pressure. So as you can tell, when you're squeezing it under high pressure, it looks like a solid, and that makes cracks as well, yeah? But the moment you release the pressure, it loses its shape like a liquid. Like a solid, like a liquid. And lastly, you and I wouldn't be punching our hands into a bucket of water, would we?
Probably not.
Not normally.
I'll take a step back.
Take a step back. Tell you what, get the kids to put their hands in a fist, and with some force, get them to punch this bucket of Oobleck. Would you like to give it a try?
I would love to do it.
All right.
Yeah, don't make a mess.
And as a show of faith, I'm going to put my face right here.
Excellent.
There we go. Because Oobleck, when it's under pressure, it holds itself together like a solid, and therefore it's not going to splash back on us. And that's the properties of a non-Newtonian fluid like Oobleck. Yes. So Isaac Newton had described typical solids and typical liquids. So this does not behave like a typical solid or a liquid, and that's why it's called a non-Newtonian fluid.
And now we need to cover cleaning up the mess and disposing of the oobleck, because that's just as important as how to make it in the first place.
Absolutely.
Here. Number one rule for disposing of oobleck, never put it down the sink. You saw how when we put that pressure, that force on it, that it was like a solid. We do not want to block up anyone's pipes.
Absolutely.
All right, so when we dispose of oobleck, we put it into the rubbish bin. And it's actually quite a cool job to do the cleaning up.
Absolutely.
If you don't like sticking your hand in things that your whole class has had their fingers in, you can always use a spoon for this as well. There we go, and the oobleck goes into the bin. Any kids who've got it on their clothes, don't try and wipe them clean with something wet. It'll just dust off later. Probably one of the reasons that we don't make it coloured, and you will get kids asking you, can we make it coloured? Can we take it home? We can't make it coloured, it's messy. It makes it so much messier. You'll get colour on your hands, get colour on your clothes. If you want to make it coloured at home without the kids, put the colour in the water first before you mix it. Now, the other thing the kids are always going to ask you is, can we take it home? No, you can't. The oobleck needs to all go in the bin at school. It's gross, it's had everyone's hands in it, and if they take it home, even if they take it home in a bag, it will have disgusting things growing on it very quickly.
Have fun with this in your class.